last couple of days? How was practice gone for you guys?
And I think it's good for us to, have had the time at home spent with our families and over the holiday season and kind of take a step back and relax for a minute. But once you get back into the swing of things, it's about getting your legs back, getting your wind back, and then trying to clean up a couple of things from the first portion of the season and start a little bit newer.
In terms mentally, how useful was that break to be able to just be with your families and kind of step away from this for a few days?
I mean, I think it's great for us, and you have finals week, but it's like not really a break because you have finals, so there's still stuff going on. Whereas when you're home, you can kind of just step away from this place completely, maybe step away from basketball depending on where you are. And for each individual, that's different. But it's always a great time to kind of just relax, get back to being a kid, do some kiddish things for a little while, and then you come back here focused and re-energized, ready to go.
Do you sense that there's a renewed energy, when you step back in here after a few days away?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that when you're not here with everybody for a couple of days, you come back and you're really excited to get back on the court and excited to get going again. And obviously with a game coming up, that's always helpful too.
How do you sort of process now you're 3 days removed from not only the game, but I guess just, being home, and what was that like for you the whole weekend?
Home was amazing, and the game and the atmosphere and all the people who came out were phenomenal, and I'm so grateful to have had that opportunity. I know for a lot of young girls in Canada, they've never really seen basketball from the United States, so for them to be able to see that and experience that in person and hopefully inspires them to want to continue to play, that's a big part for me, and I think that was the best part of it.
You said there were a lot of kids at the game. That really kind of touched you? Yeah,
I mean, kids are always fun to have at games because I think they get to see something that they can be. And for me, sport has been such a big part of my life and who I am, and it's so much more than the wins and losses, that if those kids can figure that out in today's society with the specialization of sports and all that other stuff, kids can figure out those life skills that they can translate from playing sports, then it's all the best for them.
I remember when I talked to you in Reno, you said it was cool to sort of see Gabby's hometown and see, it was like an opportunity for her to show off. Did you experience, even though you weren't in Hamilton, but it's your country, did you experience that with your teammates?
It was funny because a lot of people were like, I like your country. And I'm like, thanks, you've seen like 10 minutes of it. But it was also kind of funny, I got a text from Megan and Andra, and they were like, we love Canada. I was like, why? And they were like, we had poutine. I was like, okay. So, I brought them to Morton's Donuts, had them try and experience the culture a little bit. And that was a lot of fun. And I think they enjoyed Canada. I think they'll want to come back.
I mean, that was peak Canada in the middle of December, right?
Yeah,
that's about it.
Midwinter, that's what you're going to get. But it was exciting. It was really fun for them to be there.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys take everything one game, one practice at a time. How important is it to get off to a good start in conference play on Sunday?
Well, I think of anything right now, we kind of close the books on the first portion of the season, and now this is really the starting point of the next portion of it. So for us to come out with a good start and a good energy and fixing up and fine-tuning some things would be great.
I think the way you play in Lou and Kia, that the threes come in different ways.
Yeah. I feel like most of them come in transition, but in the flow of our offense, I think people end up getting lost a bit. So it can come at any time, really.
I was looking up the stats. Your numbers after 10 games are right up there with a Diana Taurasi and a Sue Bird and Jan Rosati. Well, where do you think you are 10 games in? Do you have any sorts of feel like you've accomplished some things that you're happy, or how are you viewing the first 10 games of the season?
I think they went pretty well. I think towards the last half of the 10 games, I started turning the ball over a bit more than I would like to. But that's, again, tired mind, and I let that get to me. So coming into the second half of the season, I just have to be able to take care of that.
Point guard, UConn is kind of like a badge of honor. I mean, consider you look up there and they're all over the place. Does it take a certain person to be able to handle this position?
It does. You have to be mentally tough because he's on you 24/7. He's on you more than everybody else because you're responsible for everybody else on the floor. So you just have to be able to embrace that and come out every day and work. And that's all he wants to see, that you're working at it.
Are you proud of that? Because after last year, to kind of come through it, and now 10 games in, your confidence is strong, and it seems like it's been a real transformative few months here for you.
Yeah, just being able to have that confidence and know that he has confidence in me a bit more, he trusts me more. It feels a lot better being out on the floor this year.
What was it like to get back in the gym after, being home with your family for a few days? Do you feel kind of renewed? Do you sense that the team has a renewed energy?
I was ready to get back here, but I wasn't ready to run.
Yeah.
Lungs had to get back and legs, but I think that right now our focus is just our defense. We have to get that better transition defense and all that. But second half of the season is coming up as conference play, and that's where we can really work on things that need to be better on both ends of the floor.
Was the break good mentally for you guys to just get away from here and to be with your family?
I think so. I think everybody was ready to go home, but we couldn't let that show being we had those last 2 games.
Right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. How important is it to get off to a good start in conference play?
It's very important. It shows what kind of team that we are for a mature team because we understand what our conference is like, but that's not what we're playing for. We're trying to get ready for the third part of our season.
So what do you want to see out of yourselves in conference play then? Just no mental lapses? Or what's the focus?
That we're able to communicate better. I think we're struggling with that right now, and that we're able to pay attention to detail a little bit better.
How about in terms of the freshmen? I mean, this seems like the perfect opportunity. He's been hesitant to play them much, but now you have games that are absolutely winnable and where there should be some time for them. You see this as a good place for the freshmen to come along?
I do, and I hope they take advantage of that. I understand that those games, the Stars don't play that much, and it's an opportunity for them to go out there and get better because they don't get as many minutes in that first half of the season. So if they can come out and prove it in practice that they can go out there and play in the games, and they can take advantage of that.
Because you are coming off a freshman season, have you talked to any of them about this being an opportunity right now and how they can't let it just go to waste? They have to have a different mindset approaching these games?
I haven't specifically talked to them about conference play, but beforehand I talked to them that freshman year is a rough year. You have to figure it out as quick as possible, but talking to them about conference play would be important, so I'll talk to them about it.
Have you seen them come along? I mean, Coach talks about how inconsistent they are right now, and I suppose that's with most freshmen, but do you see some strides from any of them?
I see that they're trying to make those strides, and I see that they're getting frustrated as well, and they just have to stick with it. They can't let the frustration get the better of them, and they have to understand that each day is a new day and not dwell on it.
Do you see some upside? I mean, you know how difficult it can be. It can last all year long, the inconsistencies. But do you see some of them ready to break through?
I do. I think once Meg gets healthy again, she can come back. Once she gets back in shape, she can come back and help us a lot. I think Michaela, she made some plays today in practice. If she can get everything down on the defensive end, she can come out and help us too.
Maybe because we just saw more practice today, but you look like you're more into it and more ready than you have been. Are you feeling better?
I'm feeling so much better. I feel like I've been doing a lot of rehab. I went home, I really took care of my body, and I'm feeling a lot better.
You had said before that you still were having trouble, generating the kind of energy that you wanted or the cuts. Are you feeling more confident right now in your leg?
Absolutely. Even in our running drills, and just my teammates giving me confidence, like, you can do this, we believe in you, and trusting my body. So I do feel a lot more confident in cuts and everything that we're doing.
How anxious are you to get out there and make an impact now after waiting so long, all last year plus this year?
I mean, patience is a virtue. So yes, I am anxious, but when that time comes, it'll come, and hopefully I'll be ready.
What can you bring? Is it energy? Is it physical play? Is it rebounding? What do you kind of think?
I think all three that you just mentioned: energy, being physical on the boards, offensively, defensively, and just being a presence, setting great screens, and being a great teammate.
How has your patience been tested?
Oh my God. It's been tested so many times. When I thought I was ready, when I got the breaks, and I'm full go. And I'm just not going as fast as I can, picking up on things. I went 2 months without, so jumping back in the flow. So it's been tested at various times, but just trying to stay patient.
Do you see the game differently, from being on the side and watching so much, I guess?
Absolutely, especially the way our team is playing and how we're transforming. Coach speaks a lot about creating an identity and who we are, and kind of just being on the outside and figuring that out and then coming back. It's been really interesting.
Nobody knows much about you because you've been away for a while and played far away. What is your game all about? I mean, what do you feel like you're ready to kind of bring right now?
I would definitely say physicality. Physicality, sprinting the floor, setting great screens. I think that's something I've been good at. You know, the intangibles, and I kind of just want to keep going on that.
I think your team.
I don't know. It's different. I think our coaches pick up for it. The assistants definitely do. And the first thing they said to us was, you know, how we play with one man down is the same thing. When coach isn't here, one man down, we got to still pick up and do what we need to do.
How do you think you did with that?
I think we did good. I think we got a lot of things accomplished today. Definitely pointed out a lot of weaknesses, and I think the assistants really did a good job of showing us and kind of stopping when we needed to stop to tell us why things were going bad. Sometimes in practice we just let it snowball or let things just get worse and worse, and the assistants were like, no, we're going to do this again and you're going to fix it. So now we have a better idea of the things that we really do struggle with, and we basically have the choice of we can fix it or we can just stay the same, and we all want to fix it.
The coaches seem more vocal out here because Gino's obviously very vocal.
Mm-hmm.
Did it feel that way to you, or were they more involved, or is it just another practice? They're always like that.
I mean, I definitely think they're involved and they're vocal in different ways, but you can definitely tell, you know, I'd say CD is more so vocal and stopping drills and doing things, you know, that she might not do when coach is here, but I'd say they do the same things, but they tell us either quieter if they tell you personally, individually when coach is here, not as much as a group. And so I'd say it's the same, but I guess just louder.
After the grueling first stretch, how important was it to just go home, clear your head? I mean, did you feel better coming back here?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed being home, and the only thing I did not enjoy coming back here was that it was 2 degrees when I was walking to practice. I was like, wow. But yeah, it was definitely a good break. I think everyone had a chance to kind of, you know, just hang with their families and not think about basketball for a little bit. So I think everyone came back refreshed, and I feel good to go, and I think other people do too.
Did you feel the energy in the gym when you guys got back out here?
Yeah, definitely. I think you could tell that, you know, people, when we start this time of year, it's always like a different vibe, and I think practices are even different, and you can kind of tell that you need to get in a different mindset for this specific time of year. And you can tell all the people that did it last year are right on board there, and the freshmen have been picking up a lot more since before we had that break. But I think everyone's been contributing in a good way.
Michaela got an early entry into the game, the last game. She's kind of figuring it out. I mean, what are your thoughts on Lexi and Andy? Is the light starting to go off in their head? Do they understand what's ahead of them?
Yeah, I think they've had some really good practices recently, and leading up to those games, they had really good days. And you know, Michaela works really hard, and even yesterday she got acknowledged for working hard and got put into a different group. So just little things here and here, they're figuring it out, and I think they're really noticing that you don't have to necessarily make big plays or do certain things. You just have to be someone who's consistent and work hard and vocal for us.
How hard is that as a freshman, though, to be consistent in this program?
It's really hard. I mean, a lot of people get down on yourself as a freshman, and when you feel like you make a mistake every single day, it tends to build up, and all of us have gone through that feeling and gone through that feeling like you're not good enough or you don't think you can make it here. But once you realize what they're trying to do, it definitely becomes a lot easier. And I think this year, I don't know, I'd say it's a little harder to fit in sometimes because, and that's on the older guys too, we tend to have a good flow going, and sometimes it's hard to jump right into that flow if you've never played with us before. So just kind of figuring out how to contribute in ways that's not overstepping what you can do as a freshman or what, you know, you're able to do is really the big deal, because Coach always says it's really not about talent, it's about work ethic and how hard you're going to compete every day so that you do contribute in a certain way.
You bummed you don't get to go back to Canada? Seemed like you felt pretty good out there just taking those threes there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I like playing there. Hopefully I want to just keep shooting like that from here on out.
How important is it to get off to a good start in conference play?
It's really important. I think, you know, we want to make a statement always going into conference play, and we want to, you know, kind of show that we're still here, and we have had such a good year so far that we want to keep it going. And I think a lot of times people can get kind of lazy in conference play or just kind of want it to be, it feels a little stagnant sometimes, but we want to keep getting better every day, and that goes straight from practices. We want to make sure that we're on top of our game every single day in practice, and that it transitions into having a great game in conference play, because sometimes when you have bad games in conference play, they add up, and then, it's over before you know it. So we want to make sure we go into conference play from the start to finish and have really good days.
13 players practicing doesn't happen a lot here.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you think that's been going, seeing everyone on the court, being able to practice?
Good. I think it's been good. I think people have been even more competitive recently, and it's been good to see that. And, we haven't had really many opportunities where we have had 13 players this whole entire season, whether it's one person or another. Someone has to usually sit out. So just having everyone, it definitely just feels like a lot more energy and you can definitely tell we're a louder group together.
Batouly came back and she played a little bit, but today she looked better than I had seen her. And you can sense that she's getting closer to being 100%.
Yeah, I think so. I think I could tell, especially today, that she was really aggressive and really out there to try to make a statement that she wanted to play. And if she continues to do that, she'll fit right in and continue to get better and better. But just trusting herself is the biggest thing, and making sure that she feels 100% herself. And it looks like she did today, and she's got to just continue to do that. It can't be one day.
What can she bring to this team?
I think she's super aggressive, and she's kind of that hard-nosed player that we kind of don't have so far. And, we all need to get better at that ourselves. But when she's playing as aggressive as she can, she'll knock people over. She'll do things that, I feel like not one of us really do. And even if it's a little out of control sometimes, it's something we need, and we need that person to just kind of disrupt everything.